Hello! Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips for wild camping in England. Number 1, finding a location. Now it can be incredibly awkward to find a location because of the law, but if you look at it from a different perspective, it can be a lot easier. So when I go for a wild camp, I assume that I have the right to camp on that land up until the point where the landowner asks me to leave or the police ask me to leave. So if somebody walked into my garden and pitched a tent and I looked out the window and I saw them there and I didn't have a problem with it, they're not technically breaking the law. It's very rude that they've walked in my garden and camped, but at the same time it hasn't been reported as an offence and therefore it's accepted. And if a police officer was to walk past and see the tent in the garden, they'd probably think it was normal, so it would be accepted. So that's the opinion I have when finding a location. However, you should aim to make yourself completely obscured, out of sight, and leave no trace that you've been there. That way you're very unlikely to be disturbed, and if somebody does see you while you're camping, just act confident, act like you've got the right to be there, and hopefully they'll walk away. In most cases, your confidence will overpower their doubt. So the only people who really will disturb you are the police or park wardens, and it's very, very unlikely. Number 2, the only knives you should be taking with you are the ones to prepare food. You are not allowed to start cutting away at logs, trees and branches without the permission of that landowner. So regardless of what people say, that if you have a reason to carry the knife then you won't get in trouble, if you start hacking away at trees and branches on private land or in a national woodland without permission, you probably will get in trouble. Number 3, take a ground sheet. Unkept wild locations have a lot of sharp objects on the ground and they can easily tear through the bottom of your tent. So unless you're staying in a hammock, make sure you're covering the bottom of your tent to stop it being pierced. Number 4, set up your camp as late as possible and leave as early as possible. That way you minimise your chances of being caught and kicked off. So get there late, leave early, and then you won't see anyone. Number 5, don't plan too much cooking. Now you may think when you go wild camping you want to get a fire going, you want to cook some food, but the reality is most places don't allow fires or even stoves. I live in the New Forest and there's strictly no stoves, barbecues or fires allowed in any of the woodlands. If you want to have a barbecue, it has to be done in the car park or the set areas that they've designated for us. And that's not the only problem. If you plan to cook while wild camping, it can sometimes be a real nightmare to wash everything back up. So sometimes I'll use a stream or a river and wash my plates, but at the end of the day, those plates still need sterilising before you can use them again. So make sure you've got a good supply of wet wipes or alcohol swabs and sterilise everything after it's been washed in the stream. So that's my 5 tips for wild camping in England. I hope you found them useful, and obviously it's not a complete list, but hopefully we'll make another video again soon. Thanks for watching.